Welcome, guys, to my Real Estate Investors Hangout. I do this hangout every Thursday night, and it's education for real estate investors like yourself. You'll see a poll on the right, and if you could fill that out, that would be most helpful. And it helps me know what kind of deals you've done, and if you are new to real estate or if you have some experience. And it helps me gauge what type of topics that I can provide for you in the future. And if you'll notice right now, there's my camera over here, my phone camera, and I'm also broadcasting this live on Periscope, so the Periscope viewers that follow me there can watch me. You can find me live on Periscope. I'm the Pink Professor, so you can go on Periscope, download the app, and start looking for real estate investors. I usually use the hashtag real estate in my titles of my scopes. So if you can do that, that would be great. I'll check the chat and see if there's any messages. And as people are coming into the room, we have several people registered. And on Periscope, guys, thanks for the hearts. I'm kind of showing you the background of how I do a hangout. This is also on YouTube Live. All right, so I'm going to get started. The topic tonight is all about building your team. And from the students I've had in the past, they always used to ask me, I don't know what to do first, second, how do I get started? This question, that question. And I try to formulate things that can make it easy for you to kind of put things in compartments and understand real estate investing. So one of the acronyms I have are the 4 F's, and that is find, fund, fix, and flip. So if you think of every single action that you're doing in real estate as one of those 4 actions, you'll always be active in your business. So are you working on finding? Are you working on funding? Are you working on fixing? Or are you working on flipping? So flipping is the selling part of it. So what I'm going to do tonight is show you the talents and things you need for those 4 parts of your real estate business, and then also the extra talents you need. So there's about 6 talents you need to put this all together, and that's really why it's confusing, because one personality type cannot do all these things really well, and so you need to build a team of people that are just naturally good at those things that you need. So remember, 4 things: find, fund, fix, and flip, and then there's 6 talents that go with that, and some of them are coordinated exactly with those 4 F's. And if you look on my YouTube channel, you'll see a lot of different titles that I've done that relate to the 4 F's. And so sometimes I'll spend a whole hangout just on finding, just on funding, just on flipping, things like that. So anyway, let's get started with the team. And I was just thinking this week about why people need to build a team, and some of the kind of misinformation that goes out with real estate investing in terms of who's on your team and how you're building that team. So first of all, when they say, everyone's on a team, you know what it's like to be on a team. And those of you who have been on a high school, a rec team, a college team, you know what it's all like. You know that you did not win that game by yourself. You didn't kick the goal by yourself. Somebody set you up for it. There were all different things involved in the team. But I find that people that weren't on sports teams kind of feel left out of that conversation. So I'm going to make this, more clear for everyone. So when you go out to drive your car, think about this. Did you design the car? Did you put the car together in a factory? Did you drill the oil well to dig the oil out? Did you then refine the gasoline? And I would bet for most of us is we don't understand 1/100th of anything about our car. We don't understand the electronics, the mechanics, how to refine oil, how to dig oil. We don't know how to do any of that. We put the gas in, start driving. Okay, so that is a team. You didn't do any of that alone. A team was involved. Okay, now for those people who maybe don't drive, or you're kind of more into the home thing, if you bake, did you raise the wheat? Did you grind the flour? Did you design the oven that you put it in? No, you just bought the wheat at the store, somebody shipped it to you, and then you bought the pan somewhere, and then you stuck it in the oven, which you didn't design or build. And so even when we make bread, we didn't do it alone. We didn't drive a car alone. We didn't build our house by ourselves. So investing is a team sport, and the idea that we think we could do this by ourselves is just preposterous. I mean, you have a job in a company, but you're not running the whole company by yourself. All of a sudden, when you're an entrepreneur, everyone thinks they have to do all these things themselves. So there are specific talents that you need to develop, but you have to understand what your own talents are first, so you can find people that complement those. So let me see if there's anything I left out of my notes. Oh, okay. So the other thing that people try to tell you is build your team, get your real estate agent, your title escrow person, your attorney, your contractor. Okay, those are pros. They get paid to do what they do. They're not on your team. They're not going to stay up and burn the midnight oil. They're going to stay up late to make money for you. They get paid when you do a transaction. So they're always going to encourage you to do a transaction, even if that transaction is not good for you monetarily. So they're not your team. Now, it's a holiday season, so I would suggest that you start finding some of these people when you go out to your holiday parties, because you're going to start talking to them about what you do. And sometimes you're going to talk about a specific aspect of it, like your marketing, or looking for deals, or calling people. So if you're calling someone, that would really appeal to someone who's been in sales, okay? What about your accounting and your numbers for your rentals? That would really appeal to someone who's home with their 3 kids, but they used to be a bookkeeper or CPA. They could be on your team. Okay, so salespeople really like the hunt. So I'm going to dive right in to kind of the first talent. And what I've done, this is why it's called my hat seminar, my hat scope. I'm going to dive right into the first talent you need. All right, so you need a hunter. You need someone who's going to go out and hunt for the deals. And so that's why I have the camo hat on here. So you need this hunter person who loves to find the deals, who's terrible at office work, who hates to sit down and do the details, but they like to hunt. And as soon as they find the deal, the people I know who are good at this, they don't even like to do the rehab part. They just want to find another deal, because it's just, that's what gets them going. It's in their blood. Okay. So this is in the find part of real estate. You need to have a hunter. Okay. That's for finding your deals. What's my next hat over here? My next hat is kind of shiny. All right. This is for finding. This is funding. So finding your funding. So this person is very social, likes to kind of go to the cocktail parties, talk with people, schmooze. They're really good with money. Maybe they're an accountant or a CPA, an attorney, and they're really comfortable with handling money, large sums of money. They like to talk to people about it. So this person is going to look for the funds for your deal. So find fund. All right, now let's move to the next one. You're going to find someone. This is for fixing. Okay, so I got the plastic contractor hat. Thank God we had Halloween a few months ago, so I was able to find all kinds of stuff at Party City. So you want someone who's really good at kind of working with the contractors. They don't mind getting their hands dirty. They've maybe done some of this work themselves before. They're in construction. They've organized. They've worked for a large contractor before on buildings, or they can just be the contractor that you use. So they need to follow details, and they need to be able to interact with people who don't always show up on time, don't always do the work on time. They need to be able to shuffle quickly. So in the morning, the guy show up and go, well, we don't have enough 2x4s. Need to go out and get those. Need to go to Home Depot and get those. They have to be able to shift priorities and get things done. So I find that the people that are really good at analyzing are really bad at this. I had someone who was working on my team, and he said he was good at handling the contractors, but he really wasn't good at getting them paid every Friday, because they would send in their hours, and if something wasn't quite right, he wanted it on an Excel spreadsheet. Well, the guys who work construction aren't real good at that. They'll scribble their hours down on a piece of paper, and they might say, oh, I forgot about those 2 hours I worked last week because I had to go get new supplies for you. So you can't be kind of analytical, and I'll use the word anal about that. You can't get all bent out of shape about that. You got to be good at dealing with the contractors. So this is the fixing part of real estate. So find, fund, fix. Now, I'm going to step back for a minute and talk about 2 other talents that are not included really in the find, fund, fix, and flip. So one of those is negotiation. Now, in negotiation, and the reason I don't have a hat on right now, is when you're negotiating with someone, you have to be real. You have to be able to empathize. You have to be able to understand their situation, understand the pain points. You have to be vulnerable. You have to be able to let them know that you've been in difficult situations, or someone in your family has been in that kind of situation before. So you have to be able to open yourself up so that they can see that the kind of position you're in. And that's how you're going to be doing the best negotiation. You're going to have to be able to talk without a hat on. There's no fronts involved. It just has to be you coming from here. So there's no hat for that. That's the extra talent that's not in find, fund, fix, and flip. So sometimes the person who's the hunter is good at that, and sometimes they're not as good at that because they're a little bit impatient. So you might have someone else in your office talk with them, or train the hunter to do it right. Okay. And the other thing is geek. Okay. So the only one I could come up with here was the Star Wars hat. All right. So for the geek part, they've got to be good at the software, getting on the computers. They have to like the equipment, the camera equipment, the remote sensors. They can talk to the engineers. So you want kind of a geek person to hold all that together, maybe to do the marketing. The geek person's doing the websites and the doing the direct mail marketing, because that involves uploading Excel spreadsheets, things like that. So you have the geek person as well that's kind of holding the office together. And then, of course, you have the flip part, find, fund, fix, and flip. And that's the salesperson. Actually, I'm going to switch over to chat to make sure that everybody is hearing me and everything's coming through all right. So the salesperson could be a real estate agent, could be someone on your team who has a license. They're good at setting up the open houses, talking to the stager, and making sure that things are marketed and advertised properly to sell the house. And they can't back down easily. So another person on my team was like, well, if the first deal came in, they just wanted to be done with it. The first offer, they were willing to accept it. And it's like, no, you have to look at the numbers and figure out that that's not going to make us any money. So that person has to really be good at sales and understand that that's a negotiation too, that you have to, don't let people talk you down on the price that you need to get for your house. So that is the find, fund, fix, and flip. And the flip one I call the salesperson. All right. So if you guys have questions, type them in the chat. Sorry, if you guys are on Periscope, it's hard for me to watch both questions, but I know some of you have migrated over to the Hangout. So go ahead and do that. And I'm going to post my ebook here, because it's something that you can go ahead and download and get the link to right while we're on this Hangout. So if you click on the link, you can get this Hangout to my ebook, and the ebook helps you find private lenders. So the ebook's going to help you, work on this part of your real estate, work on funding your deals. Okay. So I'll leave that up for a few minutes. So let me go back and look in the chat and see if there's any questions about this particular topic. And then I'm going to share my screen with you for a minute and show you where you can watch some other really good Periscope and Hangouts about real estate investing. So let me just go and check back with the chat. The offer will stay up while we're there. Do you guys have any questions? Go ahead and type them into the chat while we're on right now, and I'll get that screen share ready for you. All right, so let me go back here. All right, so this is just a quick thing for you guys. If you are not on Periscope and you're thinking about joining onto Periscope, I have set up a list of people that broadcast real estate on Periscope. So you can go to janicebell.tv, and there'll be 2 tabs right now. I've got other channels coming, but one is for real estate investors and one is for small business. So if you go to the real estate investors one and you scroll down, you will see everyone who's broadcasting that I've come across with so far on Periscope, and the link to their Periscope channel. So for example, I know Cody at Clever Investor has been broadcasting quite a bit this week. So if I click on his link, I will see his previous Periscopes. So if you want to watch somebody on Periscope who's broadcasting, I would suggest you go over to this page. So again, you can find that at janicebell.tv and go to the channel Real Estate Investors, and you can find people that you like to follow and go ahead and click down on that. Okay, so let me go back to, I'm going to figure out how to get out of the screen share here. All right, so thanks, guys. Anyway, let me just check. Kyle, I know that you were on last night. I mean, you weren't on last night, but last night I was talking about the wholesale deals that we've been doing, and I was telling everyone in the group how to do real estate wholesaling deals with people that you meet on Periscope. So I'm glad you came to the training tonight. So anyway, if you guys don't have any more questions, I'm going to finish up the Hangout, and then I'll continue to stay on the Periscope and chat some more with that. Hi, Kyle. Thanks for saying hi. All right, guys. So I'm going to close out the Hangout, and I will see you next week. Next week, here's what I'm going to do next week. I have a friend who started investing maybe a year or 2 ago, and they've been investing in small multi-units. So she is up to 10 units. So I want to bring her on the Hangout next Thursday night at 6 and have her tell us how she finds them, how she's funding them, and how she's doing her rehab. So it's someone who just started not too long ago, so that you guys can feel like it's, I could copy her. I could follow what she's doing, and just to see some success of someone who's just getting started that I know. And it's really good to see someone like that who just is plowing through and adding, and all of her investments are in the town next to ours. So in San Diego. So it can be done. And I'm happy to bring her on next week and introduce her to you guys. All right. So I'll stop the broadcast, and then I'll hang out on Periscope a little bit longer. Anyway, thanks for joining me. You guys have a great night, and watch for the Hangout next Thursday. If you want to see other broadcasts, go ahead and look at my YouTube channel. There's a lot of free training on there. That's at Wise Wealth University on YouTube. All right. Good night, guys. Have a great night.